Welcome to our channel. Today, we're diving into the fascinating world of central banks and how they manage inflation through interest rate adjustments. Understanding how this machine works is essential for anyone who wants to navigate the markets successfully. Just like a machine, there are interconnected parts, feedback loops, and consequences to every action. We'll break down the complexities into digestible pieces, examining the cause and effect relationships that drive this system. Let's get started. Central banks are like the conductors of an orchestra, and interest rates are their baton. They establish benchmark rates that influence the cost of borrowing money across the entire economy. Think of it as the base rate that trickles down to every loan a business or individual takes out. When the central bank raises these rates, borrowing becomes more expensive, effectively slowing down economic activity. Conversely, lowering rates makes borrowing cheaper, encouraging businesses to invest, consumers to spend, and the overall economy to expand. It's a delicate balancing act. The goal is to find the sweet spot, a rate that keeps inflation in check without stifling economic growth. This balancing act, as we'll see, is a complex dance with many moving parts. Mastering this dance, understanding the rhythm of rate adjustments, is crucial for anyone who wants to thrive in the world of finance. Imagine the economy as a giant swimming pool. The water represents the money supply. Too much, and you have inflation. Too little, and the economy dries up. Central banks use interest rates to control the flow of money into this pool. Lowering rates opens the valve, making it easier for banks to lend and for money to flow freely. This stimulates spending and investment, boosting economic activity. However, if left unchecked, this influx can lead to inflation, where prices rise as too much money chases too few goods. Raising rates, on the other hand, acts like partially closing the valve. Borrowing becomes more expensive, slowing down the flow of money and curbing inflationary pressures. It's a constant calibration, adjusting the flow to maintain the delicate balance between growth and stability. Interest rates have a profound impact on our everyday lives, influencing our spending habits and shaping our financial decisions. When rates are low, taking out loans for big-ticket items like houses or cars becomes more attractive. This increased borrowing power fuels demand, potentially driving up prices and contributing to inflation. Think of it as a ripple effect, starting with individual decisions and impacting the broader economy. Conversely, when rates are high, borrowing becomes less appealing. Consumers tighten their belts, postpone large purchases, and focus on saving rather than spending. This slowdown in consumer spending can help to cool an overheated economy and bring inflation under control. Understanding how interest rates influence consumer behavior is key to navigating the market's ebb and flow. By recognizing these patterns, we can anticipate shifts in demand, adjust our investment strategies, and make more informed financial decisions. Businesses, the engines of our economy, are highly sensitive to interest rate changes. These fluctuations directly impact their investment decisions and shape their overall strategies. When rates are low, the cost of borrowing decreases, making it an opportune time for businesses to invest in expansion, research and development, and new ventures. This influx of capital can lead to job creation, innovation, and overall economic growth. However, as with consumer spending, this growth can contribute to inflation if not carefully managed. Higher interest rates, on the other hand, increase the cost of borrowing, making businesses more cautious about taking on new debt. Investment slows down, expansion plans are put on hold, and companies may focus on consolidating their existing operations. This cooling effect can help to curb inflation, but if taken too far, it can also stifle economic growth. Central banks don't operate in a vacuum. Their actions are constantly scrutinized, analyzed, and interpreted by the public. This creates a powerful feedback loop where expectations become a driving force in the economy. If people believe that a central bank is committed to controlling inflation, they're more likely to moderate their wage demands and pricing decisions. This collective confidence can become a self-fulfilling prophecy, helping to keep inflation in check. Conversely, if the public loses faith in a central bank's ability to manage inflation, it can lead to a spiral of rising prices and eroding purchasing power. This underscores the importance of clear communication, transparency, and a track record of sound decision-making by central banks. Managing expectations is just as crucial as managing interest rates. It's about shaping the narrative, building trust, and creating an environment of stability and predictability. Central banks rely on a vast array of economic indicators to guide their interest rate decisions. They're like skilled navigators, constantly monitoring the economic compass and adjusting their course based on the latest data. Inflation is a key metric, with central banks aiming to keep it within a target range. If inflation rises above this target, it's a sign that the economy may be overheating, prompting them to consider raising interest rates. Other indicators include GDP growth, unemployment rates, consumer confidence, and manufacturing data. By analyzing these data points, central banks gain insights into the health of the economy and identify potential risks. It's a dynamic process, requiring constant vigilance and a willingness to adapt to changing circumstances. The goal is to steer the economy towards sustainable growth while avoiding the treacherous waters of recession or runaway inflation. Chapter 7. The Transmission Mechanism. Ripples through the economy. When a central bank adjusts interest rates, the effects are felt throughout the economy, like ripples spreading across a pond. This is known as the transmission mechanism. One channel is through consumer credit. Changes in interest rates impact the cost of mortgages, car loans, and credit card debt, influencing consumer spending and borrowing patterns. Another channel is through business loans. Higher rates make it more expensive for businesses to borrow money, potentially slowing down investment and hiring. The housing market is also highly sensitive to interest rate changes. Lower rates can stimulate demand for mortgages, driving up home prices, while higher rates can cool the market. Understanding the transmission mechanism is essential for anticipating the broader economic consequences of interest rate adjustments. Chapter 8. Crisis Mode. Unconventional tools for extraordinary times. In times of economic crisis, central banks may deploy unconventional measures to stabilize the financial system and stimulate growth. These extraordinary times call for extraordinary actions. One such measure is lowering interest rates to near zero, making borrowing as cheap as possible to encourage spending and investment. This can help to prevent a deep recession or deflationary spiral. Another tool is quantitative easing, or QE, where central banks inject liquidity into the economy by purchasing assets like government bonds. This lowers long-term interest rates and encourages lending. These unconventional measures can be effective in mitigating crises, but they also come with risks, such as potentially fueling asset bubbles or creating inflationary pressures down the line. Navigating these challenges requires careful judgment, a willingness to experiment, and a constant assessment of the effectiveness and potential unintended consequences of these unconventional tools. Chapter 9. Quantitative Easing. A deeper dive into uncharted waters. Quantitative easing, or QE, is a tool in the central banking toolkit. It involves injecting liquidity into the economy by purchasing assets, typically government bonds. This lowers long-term interest rates, making it cheaper to borrow money. The goal is to stimulate economic activity and prevent deflation. QE can boost the economy during stress, but has challenges. Chapter 10. The Art of Calibration, Monitoring, Adjusting, and Adapting. Central banking is not an exact science. It's a constant process of monitoring, adjusting, and adapting. It requires a deep understanding of economic theory and a willingness to make tough decisions. Central banks track a wide range of economic indicators. They use this data to assess policies and make necessary adjustments. Communication is crucial to managing expectations and providing guidance. The global economy is constantly evolving, presenting new challenges and opportunities. Thanks for watching. We've journeyed through the complex machinery of central banking, exploring how interest rates influence inflation, consumer behavior, and the overall economy. Remember, understanding these mechanisms is not just about abstract economic theory. It's about empowering yourself to make informed financial decisions. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more insights into the world of finance and economics. See you next time.